To mark Fiji's second anniversary of independence began in Suva with a march of youth through the city. The accent on youth is appropriate in a country where more than half the population is under 20. Thousands of young people from many schools and voluntary organizations took part in the march to Albert Park, where the Governor General, Sir Robert Foster, gave the address.
Today, on the second anniversary of the birth of this young nation, I speak to you as Governor General. As Governor General, my responsibility is to the people of Fiji, who chose their own government, and upon the advice of whose ministers I am generally constitutionally bound to act. I am proud to have been associated with the changes which led from dependence to independence, and immensely privileged to have been the first Governor General of a nation which has shouldered its new responsibilities with determination, dignity, and wisdom, and whose leaders are dedicated to the task of helping to build a happier life for all. There are many difficulties still to be overcome, and many problems yet to be solved. Inflation, unemployment, poverty, ignorance, inadequate housing, and increased crime are among them. In tackling these problems, the people of Fiji need to develop a still greater sense of national pride. They need to acquire the habit of putting the country's interest before self-interest. They need, above all, to increase productivity. The young are apt to be impatient with those who are older. There's nothing wrong with impatience. There's a great deal wrong with intolerance. Not everything which originates in the world outside Fiji is necessarily either good or worth copying. Be determined to grow up in your own way, doing what is good for Fiji. And remember that where differences exist, the Pacific way of dialogue and discussion is now part of your inheritance. Do not lightly throw it away. This is the first time, and it will also be the last time I speak to you as Governor General on an Independence Day anniversary.
In Sukuna Park, Suva, the Indian High Commissioner, Mr. Bhagwan Singh, garlands a bust of Ratu Salala Sukuna. Fiji's greatest son died in 1958, but his services to Fiji in peace and war live on. This is the insignia of the Commander of the Excellent Order of the British Empire. Among the 1972 Queen's Birthday Honours, a CBE was awarded to His Excellency Sir Messrs Sikivo. The insignia was presented by the Governor General, Sir Robert Foster, by command of the Queen. Mr. Sikivo is Fiji's ambassador to the United Nations. He is based in New York, where he set up Fiji's mission. On Seroa Island, a self-help project is a seawall. 3/4 of the northern side is complete. Government has contributed $400, and the villagers have applied for funds to continue in 1973. Another self-help project partnered by the government, this Irish crossing is being built by the people of Wunaniu for $1,000. The village is situated a mile away from the Queen's Road. School children had to wade the creek and in times of flood sometimes swim if they wanted to get to school. Soon the villagers will have an all-weather access road and cars can drive to the village, the result of their own self-help attitude. A scheme approved by government in March 1972, 50,000 acres of Caribbean pines are to be planted in Western Viti Levu by 1978. 7 miles of access road have been built through country previously not used for crops of any kind. Assistant Minister for Forestry, Serupapeli Naivalu, plants a seedling and pours cement to officially open the new station. New Zealand aid of $300,000 is being used to establish a new pine plantation at Nambo. The pine scheme will supply the production of pulpwood in Japan. Export should commence in 1983. By 1990, the value of chip exports is estimated to be $12 million per annum. A new nursery is being leveled, which will produce 3.5 million seedlings each year. 3,000 acres of trees will be planted in the 1973-74 season. New Zealand contractors cut the roads through the Virgin Country. The Fiji Forestry Department are surfacing them and building bridges. Schools on the western side of Viti Levu and in the Asawas are rapidly being rebuilt after Hurricane Bibi. The materials are supplied by the Hurricane Relief Committee, the Labour by the People, and technical supervision by the New Zealand Army. The Army supervisors came at the request of the Fiji government. Each technical supervisor takes charge of a school, and with the help of the local people, the building is erected to lock up stage in 1 week. The schools will withstand any future hurricanes. Thanks to the New Zealand Army, 42 schools have been erected. The aim is to give all school children a weatherproof building by the time they begin school in 1973. A club which belonged to King Dakubau is returned to Fiji. The New Zealand High Commissioner, John Grace, presents it to the President of the Senate, Senator R.L. Munro, as a symbol of friendship between the two dominions. The club was acquired by King Dakumbau in 1874 during a war with the hill tribes. It was bought by a Mr. A.H. Turnbull in Auckland in 1897. The leader of government business in the Senate, Ratu Penayanganilau, said, "The club is a reminder of the past, when it was not the rule of law which prevailed, but less effectively the rule of the club." The club now finds its final resting place as the mace, symbol of the Senate's authority in Fiji.